This is Romo Dunze, and you're listening to the Ballsville Podcast.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Gotta love the
in.
sound to be the crack of a good beer, right?
Welcome in, Ballsville gamers, to another episode of the Ballsville Podcast. I am your host, Scott Fitzgerald, aka Ludes for Sale on Sleeper. And this episode is brought to you by the BallsvilleGames.com. Our games combine fantasy football and poker, which create big payouts with great odds. Welcome in, gamers, to the first annual Ballsville Awards podcast. And I am sitting right next to my great friend, Sklam on Sleeper. We are dressed in our Sunday best for this episode. And yes, I am back from a Christmas vacation for my family, and I am ready to go. How was your holiday, Sean?
Oh, it was great. You know, of course, it's always fun to have good holidays. This year we got, my grandma likes to find a nice, fun kind of onesie or something goofy like that she buys everybody that's in my generation, which is, you know, a good like 15 of us. And this year we got reindeer costumes. So it was pretty awesome. She ordered them on a site, and there was no distinction between whether you're going to get a doe or you're going to get a male deer costume. And a couple of my male cousins ended up with doe costumes and vice versa for my female cousins. So it turned out to be a pretty funny experience.
Well, good. Well, I'm glad you had a good time. I was on a cruise ship. I was off the grid, which was very nice. Hit some nice islands and got some sun and spent some time with the family and had some adult beverages and some good food. So we are back and we are ready to go. And it's been a great year. I just want to give a shout out to all the Ballsville gamers that played our games. We really appreciate you guys playing with us. We had a great year. Alex told us we didn't have any hiccups as far as any shenanigans going on, which was great. It makes our lives easier, and it definitely helps us promote the game when we have no problems. So Sean, I did not do very good this year in fantasy. I'm very disappointed. I'm going to blame it on all the work that we do for the gamers with the pod and the website and everything.
Are you going to blame it on everything we do for the guys out there? Come on, bro. Cop out city.
I mean, just a little bit, but you know what? That's okay because this is obviously more important. So how about you, Sean? Are you in the plus or are you in the negative?
I'm like, if I'm in the plus, it's not enough to make it worth it. You know what I mean? Like all the time and stuff. So, you know, I probably made like less than a penny an hour if you break it all down. but you know, it's definitely, it doesn't matter really though to me as much, you know, as long as I don't take like a huge hit, then, you know, I'm okay with it because I just enjoyed playing, you know, and it's a great time. So that's something that I don't think is really like as big of a deal for me. I don't use that as a way to gauge my success for the season, I guess.
Got you. Well, like I said, I was off the grid, got to catch a little bit of fantasy here and there. So you might have to hold my hand through this episode, but, as far as I know,
you got your sea legs still?
Yeah. So how are we doing with injuries? I'm noticing that Mahomes is a no-go. Jalen Hurts is a no-go, which isn't really a big deal. I think they're locked into their playoff positions anyways. I think
the main reason they're both not going to play, with the exception of maybe Hurts, if he didn't clear the concussion protocol yet. But I feel like he probably has, and they're just holding him out anyways because they want to be safe.
Are you hearing anything about David Montgomery this weekend?
No, not really. I mean, I heard a blip about him before you, I think it might have been just before you left or just after, about him, you know, potentially coming back this year at some point. But that's the only thing I've heard. I haven't heard anything since. Hey, what's up, Zoobsies? He might have an answer for us being a Lions fan. He might have a little more inside info on where David Montgomery's status lies, but I doubt he's playing this week. That I would be surprised of.
Yeah, Zoob. Second place is not feeling too good right now. I don't know how I score so many points and I still lose. So I'm not very happy. I know I'm going to be sending you a little bit for the pub sub bet. That was the other thing too. I got hammered on pub sub bets this year. I mean, I'm like feeding the hungry this year,
Right.
So
Well, I mean, how hungry are they going to be? Because it's like mostly going to Ken, right? How many pub subs?
I think I owe Connor a few. I know I owe Zoobs one. I owe Ken a few. So who knows? I'm feeding the hungry this year. So
If it makes you feel better, I don't think you owe me any because I'm pretty sure I'm owing and not receiving any pub subs this year.
Yeah, no doubt. What's up, Alex? Thank you for welcoming me back. So yeah, it's just been
As Zoop says, no Montgomery this week, but they're thinking the playoffs.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So
otherwise, we got Pacheco, who's got that chest.
Yeah, I saw that. No Pacheco too. So so yeah, it's a lot of guys are gonna be sitting and stuff like that. So what do you think about
after like the first drive because they just don't want him to lose his consecutive start streak? But other than that, he's gonna sit. So I'd be surprised if he doesn't play more than one drive.
Yeah, I'm interested in few guys too, like Mike Evans, getting that 1,000 yards.
Yep.
He's in line for that 1,000 yards, which would be great. I mean, he deserves it.
What do you think of them not running Barkley when he's only 105 yards away from the record for Eric Dickerson's all-time rushing record for a season, and they're not going to play him? He's not going to get a chance to go for it.
I mean, records are always secondary. Football's a team game, so I think it would be very selfish to run him out there. They're locked in. I mean, if they had a chance for the 1 seed, or even maybe to move up, maybe to like a 2 seed from like a 5 seed or something like that, where they would get a home game, I think that would, he would almost have to play, in my opinion. But I mean, they're doing the smart thing. I mean, running backs take a lot of punishment. He's carried that team this year. The last thing you want him to do is, and Barkley's had some injury history, so just put him on ice at this point.
And for his part, he said that he wants to do whatever's best for the team, and he's totally fine not to play if that's the best choice for the team. So he's not out there like begging the coaches to give him the yards or anything either.
Yeah. What's up, Connor? Connor's in. C-Bomb's going to probably join us a little bit later on the show. So
he says the Rams are sitting a bunch of players too. That's potentially affecting if you have any Week 18 leagues going, and you got you guys like Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua, Matthew Stafford. They're probably not playing.
Yeah, and I was really hoping that the Vikings would lose that game, because the Vikings would have lost, the Lions would have had this game this weekend wouldn't have mattered. Dan Campbell could have sat a bunch of players, and they would almost have like a 2-week bye to really, really rest up. But the Vikings, they're not going away. So this Sunday night games for home field. I mean, the loser of this game is going to go from potentially being the 1 seed down to the 5 seed.
Yeah, and not getting a single playoff game at home.
Right. So this is like a huge game.
So let me ask you, as a Lions fan, if the Lions lose this game and drop to the 5 seed, how are you feeling with your Super Bowl hopes at that point?
Not feeling very good. I mean, they're potentially all road games. So they're going to be facing.
They are going to be all road games, unless a crazy scenario where like a 6 seed or 7 seed plays them in a game. But that, I don't think that could happen.
Yeah, and they're going to end up playing, I mean, outdoors in the cold, so they're banged up. I mean, they're already behind the 8 ball, being banged up right now. So they almost, if any team needs the 1 seed, it's definitely the Lions.
Yeah, I'll be rooting for them because I definitely I still want the Lions Bills. I've been talking about it from the beginning, and I'd love to see it. So
the Bills are locked in. The Bills are locked in it too, right?
Yeah, locked in it too. That's why they're not playing anybody beyond the first quarter, really. I wouldn't be surprised if Cook doesn't, not get a lot of carries, probably maybe 1 drive or 2 drives. And, they'll probably sit him. Maybe like Amari Cooper, they might, not run out as much. So otherwise, Josh Allen is the main factor there, who's basically not even worth playing if you have an 18 league going.
Okay. Well, let me throw throw a few things at you. So, I mean, this is a pretty easy answer for you. I mean, I think it's a pretty easy answer too. But I mean, the NFL MVP. I mean, we're just going to say it's Josh Allen, correct?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely Josh, and not to say that Lamar isn't right there. I mean, I do think Lamar's had a great season too, but I mean, it might be a little bit of bias in me too. But I feel like Josh has already been robbed once from the MVP when he had that amazing season, and I think that Lamar's gotten it twice already. I do feel like people are kind of like it's Josh's time, and he deserves it. So I feel like it will go to Josh, but not to say that there's a chance that Lamar could sneak it out, because a couple people that are voters have already said that leaning Lamar's way because the stats are better.
I mean, if Lamar didn't have Derrick Henry this year, I would say it'd be a lot closer. But I mean, I just think it's Josh Allen. I mean, Josh Allen is. I mean, James Cook has helped this year, but I mean, Josh Allen's had nobody really to throw the ball to. I mean, his number one receiver is a slot guy. Dalton Kincaid didn't show up like we thought he would show up. So it's been basically just Josh Allen all year, just putting the team on his back. Where at least Lamar's had, Derrick Henry, a better defense. Yeah, I just think it's Josh Allen all the way. What about comeback player of the year? Who do you got?
That's a good one. Comeback player of the year, maybe Burrow at this point.
Yeah, I think it's Joe Burrow down.
It's hard to think of anybody else that could qualify to where he's at this point.
Yeah,
just off the top of my head.
Yeah, I think it's Joe Burrow hands down. I mean, you probably could have had, other players that were front runners early in the year were Aaron Rodgers, but obviously he flamed out. And Joe Burrow's just been a machine. So, like I said, I was pretty wrong on him. It wasn't that I was wrong about his talent. It was just I was a little concerned about all his injuries. So, and actually, yeah, Zubes, that's a good one too. Sam Darnold. So Sam Darnold's a good one too. That one actually might be pretty close, but I mean, you look at Burrow's numbers. I mean, he's good. I mean, he could throw for 5,000 yards this week.
Yeah.
So if he cracks 5,000 yards, I mean, to me, I just think it's
tough though, because you know how much weight they're going to give to the Darnold, the fact that he took his team to the playoffs as opposed to Burrow. If he doesn't make it, that's going to weigh against Burrow heavily when it comes to the voters.
Yeah, if you really, really deep, dig deep into it, I mean, can you say that Minnesota is a product of the system? Like Darnold would be a product of the system?
I could say that just because it's proven that he can take quarterbacks with minimal, ability and make them like a viable player for a game or two at minimum, right? So that's something that you always have to account for in that system. And then also, the other factor is going to be the defense that they had versus the defense the Bengals have. And, that Joe was forced to be, a superstar every game where Darnold wasn't really required to be the guy every game like Joe was. So, hopefully those factors weigh in, just as much as the fact that they're in the playoffs, because it does bother me when somebody's overlooked for an award because they're on a team that didn't make the playoffs or wasn't a winning team. There's been players that I felt like should have been considered for MVP awards, but they were overlooked because of the team that they were on.
Got you. Now, one thing I did notice, I did read, and I said this before I left for vacation. I said, don't be surprised if the Minnesota Vikings kind of dangle J.J. McCarthy out there and keep Sam Darnold. And I read the other day that the Vikings are going to be in the market to possibly trade J.J. McCarthy and make Sam Darnold their franchise quarterback. What do you think about that?
I mean, I personally don't think it's the right thing to do, but if that's what they decide to do, I can't sit here and give them any factual reasons why they shouldn't do it based on the way he's played this year. So it's hard to argue. I like JJ better long term, but that's me. I'm not the one watching him play every day, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like Darnold's old. We talked about that before. Didn't we say he was like
same age as Josh, right?
He's 27. I think he's 27. So it's not like he's 30, 31, 32. I mean, he's in the early prime of his career. So, and these quarterbacks have shown that they can play till they're at an elite level.
You really think, though, that he's an elite quarterback? I mean, I just don't see it from him. Even when he's playing well, it doesn't seem like he's quite at that level of like the Burrows and the Allens and the Mahomes and the Jacksons, and I don't think he can get there.
Look who stepped in, Mr. Ben. What's up, Mr. Ben? He says, "Yep, FJJ guy was born on third base." I agree with you, Ben. I think they should just sign Sam and let JJ go. And I'm a Michigan fan, so I want to see JJ succeed. But I mean, why try to fix something that's not broken? I mean, if they win on Sunday night, I mean, they're the front runner to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. So
what if they end up scenario here, if they win, say they win one game and then lose the championship game or divisional round, depending on where they fall, they win one playoff game, whether it's division or not. So they say they win there, they lose, they don't make the Super Bowl. Next season, they don't get what they want to get for JJ. They decide they're not going to trade JJ. They move into the next year with both quarterbacks on the roster. Do you think that they continue to start Darnold at that point and just keep sitting JJ behind him, with this way it is? And then if Darnold starts struggling at all, that people are going to go nuts wanting JJ in there. So I
think they would only be able to do that for one more year. I mean, they'd have to be, but I'm thinking the only way I think they're just going to keep. I think what's going to happen is Sam Darnold would have to pretty much lose Sunday's game like badly, like throw like 3 interceptions or something, and then go into the first playoff game and play bad again, like make bad decisions, bad turnovers, and then they would be like, okay, maybe we should reassess the situation. But if as long as he just plays how he's been playing, I mean, I don't even think he really has to even be elite. Just win maybe one playoff game, and even if they lose, the next round, lose a close game, as long as he doesn't make mistakes, I think there's an opportunity for them to. Because everybody needs quarterbacks. I mean, everyone looks at the Jaden Daniels effect. The CJ Stroud, even though didn't have a kind of a great year, but I mean, everyone's looking for that quarterback. And JJ looked good in the preseason, so he has shown a little bit in the preseason. So why not? I mean, you could probably get a really, really good return for JJ McCarthy, and I don't know if the Vikings are going to be able to sign everybody, especially on defense. So. I know they want to keep that defense going, and if you got and if you have a quarterback that's in the prime of his career and he's playing well in that system, don't fix what's not broken.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying. It's just I've seen it happen where these quarterbacks will have like a half season, good season, and then just come out and can't ever kind of replicate that type of success again. And when you invest money into guys like that, and it's a big dollar amount, you're going to end up, basically up, S Creek without a paddle at that point.
Yeah, true. Now, what do you think about, there's Connor. What's up, Connor?
What's up?
How's your Christmas and everything?
It was great. Great New Year's, everything.
Well, I'll get you caught up to speed. We wanted to know who you thought your MVP was this year, not fantasy, real football.
I've been going back and forth internally between Josh Allen and Lamar. I think y'all have too, but I mean, another dark horse is Saquon. I mean, what he's done with the Eagles, but I would probably lean towards Josh Allen just because I didn't have high hopes for the Bills. I think I talked to Sean about this last week. Didn't really have high hopes for the Bills.
You've been talking to Sean about not having high hopes for the Bills since the beginning of the season, bro.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. And that's the reason why I'm going to go Josh Allen, because I always thought the Ravens would be 1, 2, 3 seed.
Yeah. I
think Saquon would have had to play this week and break Dickerson's record to actually have a legitimate opportunity at the board at this point. And since that's not going to happen, I think that drops him out of the race.
Yep.
What about your comeback player of the year?
I think y'all mentioned Burrow. I mean, I know Aaron Rodgers not having a great season, but he was out, all of last year.
Had to bring up the Jets, didn't he?
It has to be the question. But I'm trying to think of other names that had injuries or anything like that. I mean,
would Saquon be considered comeback player of the year? He's kind of banged up a little bit.
He was banged up, but he was not, he was no DeMar Hamlin or anything. So,
what's up, Fran? Hi, Fran. Thanks for welcoming me back. Okay, let's go to another one. This one's I think it's pretty easy. I mean, there is a case for another positional player, but the rookie of the year. So I think we can all say it's probably Jaden Daniels.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
Could there be a case where when everyone thought that the Heisman would go to a quarterback and they gave it to Charles Woodson and everybody was all happy, could there be a chance they maybe give it to Brock Bowers at all?
No, there's no. I mean, it's such a quarterback. Anything we're talking about is going to be a quarterback award, just about. So, that.
Man, but if they didn't have a Jaden Daniels playing like he was playing, right, and like say the top level quarterback was Bo Nix, then I think you have to give it to Bowers.
I mean, if you just look at what Bowers has done this year, it's just it's incredible what this guy's done. But yeah, I agree. It's such a quarterback-driven league, and Daniels is. I mean, those comeback victories. I mean, especially the last one against the Eagles. I mean, that was just like the nail in the coffin right there. I mean, he just bitch slapped the Eagles that last drive and just said, you guys aren't winning this game. You know, so. But,
I think that was his most impressive comeback win for me that I've seen this year. Even over the Hail Mary. Yeah.
What are we tripping about?
BTJ over Bowers, he's saying. I'm not saying Brian Thomas Jr. doesn't deserve to be in the discussion to an extent, but there's no way that he's over Bowers. And if we're talking Bowers isn't even going to be over Jaden, then how can we even consider him?
Yeah, not just that. There's so many other receivers just in this class that are doing, almost equal to what BTJ is doing.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to throw him in, you got to throw Neighbors in the mix, and then who's better between those two at this point?
Yeah, Ladd, had a great season as well. Yeah. Even Harrison. I mean, he hasn't had a wonderful season, but he's still comparable to these other guys.
Well, if the season ended week 2, he was the best rookie for the year, right? Like. Yeah. Was it until the rest of the season played out that we found out the truth?
All right, and one. Oh, there's Jimbo's Bimbos. What's up, Jimbo's?
What's up, Jimbo?
I'm gonna come visit you in a couple weeks. Just let me get settled back in from my cruise, and then I'll be hitting you up when we come out and visit you.
Speaking of cruise, I really like your Florida-based jacket that you got there, man. That nice pastel color.
It goes nice together with your tan skin you got there.
Yeah, I got my pocket square, and I'm all blue decked out in Honolulu blue here. So getting ready for the Sunday night game. So everything looks good. So and one more for you guys. Coach of the year. Who's Coach of the year, Sean?
Oh man, it's hard not to lean towards Tomlin or God, what's his name? McDonald. Why am I messing his name up? Minnesota, Kevin O'Connell. I think it's probably kind of somewhere between those two, in my opinion. You might be able to convince me though, because I don't think that there's a lot of separation amongst the top guys this year. I feel like nobody really separated themselves too much in that race.
Yeah. No, Mr. Ben's absolutely correct. It's Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson is Coach of the Year. No, I think it's O'Connell. But hey, let me give you guys this scenario or possible scenario. So I got into it with some people on the ship because we were talking about coaches, and I actually I met some Lions fans.
And then they disappeared, right? And nobody heard from them again.
Yes. So I met some Lions fans on there, and we were talking about, after this year, what's going to happen with Ben Johnson. And I said, you know what? If I was running the Detroit Lions, I would, as much as I would hate to do it, I would ask, I would ask Dan Campbell to step down to a different position, a different coaching position, and I would hire Ben Johnson. And I would not let Ben Johnson go to somebody like the Bears, go to somebody else.
So here's the question, then why wouldn't you just do a co-head coach?
Can't do that.
Why not?
Because somebody's got to make the final decisions. You can't have like co-guys. Who's going to break? Who's going to break?
Figure out a way to keep them, man. You make something work, right? Dan's not going to take a step back. I'll tell you that right now. If worst case scenario, my thought is that they'll try to trade Dan, and then they'll promote Ben. I
mean, he definitely brought the grit back to Detroit, which I liked. The hard nose, working hard. But Ben Johnson is the engine that runs that team. You take Ben. I mean, look at that play that they did last week when they were on 3rd and long, and they did that hook and ladder. I mean, he's so creative. And and the offense has been so good. And I mean, for what these coaches are getting, just give this guy like $15 million a year, for hire him, and just either Dan Campbell takes a step down, or just sometimes you got to make hard decisions and move on. So that's just my opinion.
Dan Campbell would be like a worthwhile trade candidate for certain teams out there that are looking for a head coach this year. I mean, you could get something for him in return. It's not unprecedented for coaches to be traded.
Yeah, maybe we'll send him to Dallas. Connor can deal with him.
There you go.
Would you like Dan Campbell, Connor, instead of Mike McCarthy?
Oh yeah. I mean,
who wouldn't you like instead of Mike McCarthy at this point? Yeah,
there's I think we talked about it the last time you were on, Scott. I disagree with your take as Dan Campbell, but I think Jimbo has a good point here. Just pay him an equal contract, kind of what Sean said, have him as a co-head coach, maybe not have that title, but just pay him as much as a head coach would make. You don't even know that, Ben Johnson's going to be that good of a head coach. Like we discussed before, there's been offensive coaches that have looked like absolute studs as offensive coordinators, and they just fail as head coaches. We've seen that recently.
There's been quite a few, actually.
No, and I agree 100%, but there's also, like, you got O'Connell. I mean, look how he turned out. I mean, he's a monster in Minnesota. I mean,
it's not like the Lions are sitting here at 9-8 or anything. They're 13-2, about to win the division. You're not,
That's why I think
for every O'Connell, there's a guy out there that's failed miserably in that type of situation, though. You know what I mean? Like 2 or 3 of them. Cliff Klinger, exactly. And now they're talking about rehashing him just because all of a sudden he's looking good again with Jaden there.
Yep,
like, exactly. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that he's the reason that Jaden's been able to do what he's doing. I think my honest opinion is I think he might be holding Jaden back a little bit, and a better offensive coordinator could probably do more with him. But that's because I'm not a huge Kingsbury fan. And I feel like, that type of situation should be exactly what you got to watch out for with, a guy like Ben Johnson, even though I do think he's a much better offensive coordinator than Cliff Kingsbury is. So his chances of success, in my opinion, are a lot higher.
I just think I would be sick to my stomach. I think I'd roll the dice and gamble, and I'd keep Ben Johnson. I'd be
gamble and boot Campbell.
I mean, could you imagine him going to the Bears and the Bears just turn? I mean, the Bears would be a great spot. They got the quarterback.
What if they trade him away and then Dan Campbell goes to the Bears, or they let him go and he goes to the Bears, and then he comes in there and he turns Caleb Williams into a superstar and comes in and beats your butt because Ben Johnson doesn't know how to run a team? How would that make you feel?
I don't know. I think, like I said, I'd roll the dice. So, but anyway, so all right. Well, that's that kind of a little bit of talk right there. But I know you guys want us to get into what we came here for, and that's the first annual Ballsville Awards. And here it is. Since I've been off the grid a little bit, I haven't had too much time to prepare, so I'm gonna hand over the reins to Sklem. So go right ahead, Sklem.
Awesome. All right. Welcome, everybody. I'm going to give you a better screen so you can see our beautiful faces. The first annual Ballsville Awards show, guys, the Ballsy Awards. It's a working title. We'll see if we keep it for next season, but I'm kind of liking it the more I say it. So what we're going to do here, guys, we're going to go over our winners that came through for us today and what everybody walked home with on our Ballsville 2024 games. And some of the specific awards for individuals that maybe were more successful than others. So let's run through it. Connor, are you as excited as me and Scott are about this?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Love to get into it. There's some big, giant winners here in Ballsville.
Yeah, lots of big ballsy winners out there, baby.
Yeah, lots of money.
Yep, exactly. All right, let's roll on through it here. We're going to go ahead and get started with the mini league champions. So as you guys remember, the mini leagues, they ended in week 14. So this is the one that we do in the very beginning. It's our first leagues to draft, and they draft well before the actual NFL draft even, and are a lot of fun because all of us by that point in time are literally chomping at the bit to start drafting. So this gives us an opportunity for the degenerates out there to get their feet wet. In the mini leagues, we had 2 separate winners in the mini leagues. We had JM Hubs, who was the wager winner, not to be confused with the champion, guys. This is the wager winner. So based on the way that the wagering system works, you can win more money than the actual champion, depending on how much they wagered. So That's basically what happened here in this situation. And JM Hubs was able to take home $690 on a $4 entry.
That's crazy,
guys. $690 on a $4 entry.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
That is unbelievable. I definitely got to get more of those mini leagues next year.
Yeah, me as well. That's like one of the only things I really didn't get into in Ballsville or the mini leagues. I think I was in like one or two, but not compared to my, big game or redraft or dynasty. Mini leagues is definitely something I'm looking forward to next year.
Yeah, we know all about all your other entries, Connor. We'll hear about those again sometime soon.
No, I wasn't even talking about my winnings. I was just more talking about my entries.
I just love teasing you, brother. Oh, man. Congratulations, JM Hubs, man. Way to go, brother.
Yep. Congrats, JM. He's in a lot of stuff, too. He had a lot of other things he did well. I think he won a couple or was in a couple dynasties, stuff like that. So all these names you'll see probably multiple times in different leagues.
Yeah. It's these are people that are regulars with us. And as you can see, I want to go back here one more time real quick to JM Hubs because he gave us a quote saying Alex and his team at Ballsville are fantastic. So we appreciate you, my friend. And we really do love it when you guys let us know that you appreciate what we're doing because it's, we want to do this for you guys. And, hearing that you guys are happy with it really makes us feel good.
Yes, JM.
So for Freeman C2447, he had a $4 entry, and because of what his decisions were for wagering, he was eligible for the $190 winner championship pot. So he did become the champion, even though his pot is lower. The man carries the trophy. So that's right. He's got the weight, baby. He gave us a nice quote of, "These leagues were awesome and run very well and were a lot of fun. I will be a player in these leagues as long as you're doing them." So, and we promise you that we will continue to do them as long as you guys want to keep playing in them.
Exactly.
So, congratulations once again, Freeman C2447.
Yep. Congratulations. Another player you'll see multiple times, throughout these leagues. He's in a bunch of, big game, bunch of best ball, stuff like that.
Absolutely. And then we're going to go into our Dynasty League Ballsville Awards, the Ballsy Awards for the Dynasty Leagues, ladies and gentlemen. How many of these did you guys play in? I know I was only in 2 of them because a lot of them had already been, filled and stuff by the time I was able to jump in. I had to jump in some of the new ones that were added this year. But I definitely want to try to get in more next year, and I did enjoy them a lot.
Yeah, I'm only in 1, but I definitely want to get into at least 1 more.
I'm in 4. I'm in the one in the podcast group, and then I'm in 2 more that drafted basically around the same time, and then I'm in 1 that we the initial 4 that we did. I was in one of those as well. So,
yeah, Mr. Ben doing this here is asking about doing a high stakes Dynasty League next year, and that's something that we'll consider. We're definitely upgrading a lot of things. Number one being the website, and getting this triathlon game lined out for you guys. So, that's kind of our main focus for the next few months. But as soon as we've got everything locked down for all of that, then we'll look at adding other things and, fine tuning some of our other games that we have available to you guys. So, something like that is not off the table at all.
Yeah. Just a little thing on the big money dynasties. Those are a lot harder to fill and a lot harder to keep people going every year, especially when their team, they mess up their team. So not that saying we won't do it, but those are just a lot harder to do, put a lot more thought into the players you have, stuff like that.
Yeah. And Ben, if you're interested in those high stakes dynasty leagues, you could also you could bring over some people that you like playing with, and you could have your own private league. I know we did that to a few players last year. They just brought players over. They wanted their own private league so they could play against each other. So that's always available to you is that way you guys can have your own private league.
Yeah, probably won't be wagering. Yeah, probably won't be wagering, against other leagues. I know we have a couple non-Ballsville things like that. And then, but yeah, like you said, you can bring in other players that you already have listed. That way, they're, you're your friends or whatever, the players and stuff like that. And Ballsville can be a part of it.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. The more the merrier in the Ballsville, baby. That's how we're doing it. We want to have so many Ballsy Awards next year that we can't even fill them in one truckload. So let's roll into some Dynasty Awards. First up, we have the wager winner, Jerry B 83. He was in the 116 league Shenron. And so he basically $25 annual fee, guys, and he won $1,175 off of this win. So, I mean, Mr. Ben's talking about some big money pots. I mean, where can you get better odds than $25 winning you $1,175? So that to me is some big money odds right there, baby.
Yeah, and that's not even with everybody wagering. If we have, more leads that we add on to here and more people wager, the pot will even get bigger without even having to put big money into it. You can just
exactly, yeah. I mean, even if you doubled the pot's a $50 prize, it doesn't have to be a huge chunk of change from each player. You're still going to get a really good turnout on the back end. So, there's definitely options that we could look at. The style of game that Alex has put together with the way he handles these wagering systems has allowed for us to do, minimal payout or minimal investment for higher payout. So, that's kind of what we were looking to do, and raising it up too high as the investment might, not be something that will have enough players to make the nice pots for you guys like we want. So, that's something that we always have to consider. There's a delicate balance there. We want to make sure everybody's happy.
Definitely.
Exactly. Congrats, Jerry B. I know he's tuned into the pod a bunch of times and chatted in here. So yeah, Jerry B 83, congratulations. That was great.
Yeah, his quote for us was, "It doesn't matter what cards you're dealt, it's what you do with those cards. Never complain, just keep pushing forward. Find a positive in anything and just fight for it." Baker Mayfield.
All right, quoted Baker.
All right, let's see who was our Dynasty winner overall for the Ballsville champion in Dynasty was PG Road 86 in the Haku League. So congratulations to you, my friend. And then this is another situation where, based on the wagering that they decided to wager, his pot, even though he's the champion, was lower than the overall wager winner for the Dynasty Leagues. So congratulations, though, to you, my friend, because you are the one with the weight, baby.
And look at that. I want to point out that trophy. I mean, Alex does a great job on these graphics. I mean, look how beautiful that trophy is with the dragon and the background holding the trophy. I mean, could you imagine if we could, scrape up enough cash and put together a trophy like that in person? That would be really, really cool. But yeah, great artwork, Alex. And yeah,
hey, you know what? When we get to the point where we have a Ballsville store, baby, we could have these things available for our champions to buy, and only our champions.
Exactly.
Yeah. Just did a 3D printer, right? 3D printers are becoming more popular. You probably can print something out like that.
Nah, man, we don't. These guys deserve better than a 3D printed trophy, man. We're gonna get them something nice, man. Some nice brass, Ballsville type trophy.
Yeah. Hopefully by next year at this time we'll have some swag, and we can start sending some champion T-shirts out.
Absolutely. So his quote for his win was, "The opponents tried to shoot me down as I climbed the hill, but they couldn't pierce all the heart. I was thankful for Jaden reaching the Mooney, and at the end of the day, he was a good lad."
Nice. What a poet.
He's a poet, and he know it.
Yep.
All right, so the next ones, guys, we got the redraft league. So this one is one that we were more involved in amongst the three of us. I know I had quite a few in the high, I think 3 out of the 10 in the high leagues, and I know both of you guys were really involved in the mids and the lows. So what did you guys think of how the redraft leagues went this year?
I think they went really good. I was definitely pulling for Mr. Ben to cash in some of those big ones. He was my front runner. He was my manager of the year, and I know he just got a little unlucky, but I know he'll be back next year in full throttle.
Yeah, he definitely got week 17 for sure. I mean, it was a bad run for him on all those finals matches, but hey, he made it to the finals matches in quite a few, so that's a good thing to hang your hat on.
Yeah, there's a lot of players, that probably got him to the finals in most of those leagues that didn't even play week 17. So that always hurts.
Yeah,
that's kind of a bummer.
As soon as you announced me as manager of the year, should have been left. Oh man! So you're saying that Scott got you with the curse of the announcer? Oh man, Scott, you're brutal, bro.
The announcer cursed it. That's funny.
Yeah, I didn't think people that rock the Honolulu Blue were that vicious, man.
Well, I know he'll be back next year with a vengeance.
absolutely will. Probably going to enter in all of them again, too, just to try to take every single one of them down and not have to worry about it.
Exactly. All right. Let's roll through these.
All right, let's go through our winners here for this one. So our first up, we had our low stakes redraft champion. This gentleman won a total of $1,100 for, what was it, Scott? A $25 buy-in.
Yep, $25 buy-in, guys. That was it.
Yeah. So you guys can do the math on those odds right there. I'm not going to go in and spoil it for you. I bet you guys figure it out on your own. And who was our big winner? Shy Bears 45. Woo, woo, woo. The only thing they won this year. Congratulations. Not you, the Bears, I meant. I couldn't help it. Those poor Bears, man. I just got to step on them a little bit when they're down, I guess. But this man is not down because he has $1,100 more in his bank account right around Christmas time, which we all know is an amazing addition at that time of year.
Yeah, I got week 16 to death. Week 16 was literally a bloodbath for all my teams. It was brutal.
What about you, Connor? Did you play in a lot of these low stakes?
I had 2 low stakes, and they didn't even make it that far. My 2 low stakes were probably, or I think my 2 worst teams out of any other league I did were in these low stakes.
That's kind of surprising too, considering the way that the other high stakes that I was in, the competitive drafting that was in those leagues, made it a lot more difficult for me to try to walk away with the right team.
I think the randomness of it, because people don't stick to their guns as much in the lower stake leagues. They they do a little bit more random stuff, and I think I did too. I drafted a little bit different than I usually do. But yeah, my low stakes leagues, I don't even think I cracked 500 in either of them. So,
ooh, yeah, that's brutal. Well, next year you'll have an opportunity to make up for that and try to take them down. I'm definitely going to jump in a few of them. I wanted to focus on the high stakes leagues because by that point, I had so many leagues that I didn't really want to add too many more, and I focused on the high stakes for the higher payout. I'm not going to lie, I wanted the money. But next year I'm definitely going to make sure I get in at least a couple of the lows and the mids too, because I really want to have a presence in that bracket.
Yeah, these were the low stakes leagues were the first leagues I actually drafted redraft as well. So these are obviously the low stakes fill faster than either the mids or the high stakes. I think the high stakes filled faster than the mid stakes, which is
the high stakes went quick. I mean, there was a lot of those Costco heads, man. They wanted them high stakes leagues, and they filled them up quick.
Yeah, so these were the first 2 leads I actually drafted were in these low stakes leads, redraft wise.
Yeah, awesome, man. So you guys be aware next year in the low stakes, we're coming for you. And Shy Bears 45, you get to carry around the gold for the whole season and just rub it in our faces all you want, man, because you earned it. All right, our mid stakes redraft champion. I have to say, this is one that I have been dreading since the moment this podcast started today. $2,500 in total winnings for a $50 investment goes to Steve on 18.
Connor, congratulations, Connor.
I know this was kind of surprising to me too. I mean, I only bet I could have won more. I think I can't remember if it was Mr. Ben or Cash. One of them 2 wagered their whole thing, and I only wagered actually half of mine. And if I wagered the whole thing, I would have set the whole thing down. But I only wagered half, so I only took the two bigger pots. Didn't take the third $200 pot or whatever it was, $1,000 pot. So.
Oh yeah, so that's a little bit of a difference there, 200 to 1,000. Yeah.
Well, it was 200 to enter, and then I think the pot was actually 1,000. So,
if you entered it, would you have taken it down?
Yes, I was. I think Mr. Ben only had 205 points, and I had 227 or something.
So just because you didn't have big enough ballsies,
I know
you didn't get the full breakdown, baby.
I know. That's what I told Mr. Ben he's lucky I got in the pool right before I bet my money.
You mean like actual pool, like you jumped into a swimming pool?
No, it was just a shrinkage joke.
Oh, I got you. Okay, it took a second there, right over my head.
Yeah, this one I was really disappointed because I thought I had a really good team, and Zubikis put the smackdown on my ass in that league, and I was just devastated.
Well, he really didn't put the smackdown on you, to be honest, right?
Pardon me?
He didn't really put the smackdown on you, right?
Well, it was
Sean that he put the smackdown on. He's over there ducking his head.
Hey, all I did was run a team that was already running its way into a brick wall. It's not like I could have done anything.
Yeah, I mean, I
Got
scored.
tied the steering wheel, slammed on the gas, and just left me to die.
Yeah, I scored 85 points or something, and he just smashed me. I think he scored like 240 something or so. Just crushed me.
I went through and looked too because I that was honestly more stressful for me than my own leagues were that I was in championship games. That's like if I have a better player on the bench spot that I didn't start and Scott's would have won because of it, I'm gonna not hear the end of this. I was like so stressed about your leagues that I barely even paid attention to mine on week 17.
Oh, there you go.
So I actually did a trade on the pod
Right there.
a couple weeks ago that was Kamara. I can't remember the other player. It was Kamara and somebody else for Bucky Irving and Josh Jacobs. And this is right before Bucky Irving was like a fantasy stud, like literally like the week before he scored like 30 points. Did this trade. And that's the team that actually ended up winning with Bucky Irving and Josh Jacobs.
So you guys know that if Connor not been like rushing back from work to get to this podcast, he would have gone in and found the clip of talking about that trade and played it for us right here, right now.
I definitely would have.
Oh, you gotta love it, man! Congratulations, doggies! $2,500 is nothing to sneeze at.
Thank you.
All right, move on.
Our high stakes redraft champion. So you can see here, guys, the same amount, $2,500 was won for double the investment. And the reason that happened is because nobody wanted to wager their money. All of you high stakes guys, you came in this league, popping your chest, telling us how, and then you guys come in here and you take your little $800 and you tuck your tails. I don't get it. I thought you guys were coming out here to be gangsters.
Yeah,
But either way, it worked out great for our champion because he got to walk away with $2,500 without having to worry about anybody battling him for week 17. So congratulations to Ketting, taking it down, baby. Way to go, my friend. I also have to mention something that this gentleman is an extremely good person. He was willing to tip Alex and myself out from his winnings because he was very appreciative of what we're doing here. And, when you guys, like I said earlier, when you guys do things like that, it makes it so much easier for us to continue to put this hard work in here for you. So we really do appreciate anything you guys are willing to do, even if it's just saying thank you and kudos, man. It means a lot.
Yep. Congratulations, Ketting.
Yep. Congrats.
So that was a really good setup. I joke with you guys, but you guys each took home that didn't wager. You guys took home $800 for your league. So it's not like you walked away empty-handed or anything. That's nothing to sneeze at. $800. So that is a good win for you guys also. All right, the next one we got, guys, we're going to go over is the big game, baby. This is our main game right here. This is the one that started it all. So this is our best ball leagues, and this one, as you guys know, we usually have most everybody at least has one of these leagues going that's in Ballsville. This is kind of the one that, we're all starting with and kind of branching out once we get more involved. So, yeah, this is really a fun one. And taking this one down really does mean a lot when it comes to the bragging rights in the Ballsville Nation.
Yeah, definitely.
So let's find out who it is that's going to be able to basically talk mess to us all for the next 8 months. It's Cross24, baby. Congratulations. A $6.50 entry won this man $1,600. Congratulations, bro. And he had a score worth it with a 261 in week 17. So that's pretty amazing, man. And, it's also almost as amazing as his quote, which is one of my favorites. If you ain't first, you're last.
Yes, sir.
Good nights.
That one I had to use my what was that? The football movie voice for that one right there. I don't want your life. Okay, Varsity Blues. There we go. I don't know why I couldn't remember the name.
Yep, that's a big pot he took down with only $6.50. I think we're moving it up just a little bit to $7 to avoid any of the decimal places this next year. So, if more people wager, the pot's going to be even bigger next year. Even if we don't add it.
I think 96 total leagues, if I'm not mistaken, this year. So, that is I think what we have like 30 leagues from last year or something like that. So I mean, dude, you're talking about exponential growth on this league. I'd be shocked next year if we're not pushing that 150 marker, man. Like that, that would be amazing to get 150 of these, different leagues going for you guys, man.
I think Alex even mentioned it last time. Like we slowed down just a little bit because it was kind of might have been a little bit too stressful on us managers managing that many leads. But I think the way we handled it this year, I think we proved to ourselves that we can even do more than what we did this year just with the group we have. So
yeah. And with the website, adding the website and the functionality that's going to provide for us as far as not having to worry about hubs and things like that, I think is going to allow us the opportunity to grow these leagues and provide more options for you guys to get in.
Definitely.
Yeah, and I just want to give a shout out to you, Connor, and Zubakis and Grundog and Z-Dubs. You guys like really stepped up when we needed when Alex needed a hand with these leagues and helping with payouts and everything. So we want to give a shout out to you guys too for really stepping up and taking the reins when we needed you guys to step in.
You guys are now in the circle of trust. Okay, and once you're in the circle of trust, there's no way out.
Yeah, it was fun too, looking at the scores, seeing what leads I was in, especially I won a bunch of leads and was wagering, and even taking the leads that you're in that you're a manager of as well is fun looking at, seeing all the teams that sucked ass or whatever else too. So
man, you give this guy one mid-stakes win, and now he's over here just talking bad about other teams.
I said my team sucked ass. I had a bunch of teams that sucked ass. I was if I wasn't, first, I was last a lot of the time. So,
all right.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I was either there wasn't a lot of middle ground teams for me. It was either top or bottom. That was
Thanks. And thanks, Jimbo, for the kudos about everything being run real good. We really appreciate it. Yep.
Definitely. Thank you, Jimbo.
All right. What's next here? The Ballsy Award.
Ballsy Award. Ballsville Player of the Year. Who the heck could this be?
Do you think you'd have maybe kind of an idea at all, Sean? Is there multiple guys we got to look at for
yeah. Well, there was a lot of people, that had potential to take this award, and there was just one person that I wanted to eliminate every round of eliminations, and I just could not do it. It was driving me insane. The name just kept sitting there and kept sitting there and kept sitting there until it was the only name left.
Yeah, and I think what we need to do is I think we were going to give this award, and we were going to have this person come on, and we were going to call it like his power hour, like his claim to fame, give him the stage and let him, go off for multiple minutes.
God, knowing this guy, he's going to love
knowing this guy, we're just going to cut it and we're going to call it the C-Bomb Minute.
Oh,
so the 2004 Player of the Year, and this player won. He was 9 league wins, 1 division win in the Villain division, 4 mini-game wins, redraft mid-stakes champion, over 3,000 in total winnings. His name is Connor, our buddy C-Bomb from West Texas. Congratulations, Connor.
Wow,
you got 1 minute.
People are going to be calling this Ridge, I didn't even expect this. I had no idea, but that's awesome. I appreciate y'all. But yeah, I played.
He's not lying, guys. He had no idea. I put these slides together and did not show him this slide, so he had no idea this was coming.
Yeah, and then you were like, I hated this player, and I was like, oh, maybe it is me. And then you're like, oh, he took me down. He never took me down.
Oh, we missed an opportunity, Francis. We should have put Butters instead of C-Bomb. You're right.
Oh.
No, good job though, doggy. Over $3,000, man. That's huge, brother.
Yeah, and that's just in Ballsville. I mean, and that was a lot. I mean, all these leagues were fun. I'm winning leads I didn't even know I had a chance in. Still, like I got notifications today that I've won some leads that I haven't even looked at in weeks because I thought I was out of it. But I had one mini game that did really well that I'm actually pretty proud of myself. It was the rookies, ranking the rookies. I did pretty well in that, and I've been looking at that one all year long. So. Yeah, it's been really fun. Only won one dynasty though. I was shooting to win more of those, and that's what I hope to get in more next year, along with mini games. So yeah, appreciate everything y'all do and Alex and everything. But
you're going to be just as involved as we get going forward. So
yeah,
don't be too quick to take us. You might be hating us in a few months. We're like, where is this? Where is that?
No, I'm good. I've got all my payouts. Like Alex said, payouts, went very smoothly. I think the only thing that needs still to know, I mean, it's already been sent out basically, is the bid game, but people just, we have 140 people in there and you need 70 whatever to vote, and we only have like 60 something. So, but once people vote on that, I'll have all my winnings from Ballsville, which is fun and good to see. Keeping a lot of that money just in league save, so I don't even have to worry about payments for next year. And just join a bunch. I'll be doing a bunch of giveaways to people in the pod as well. So if y'all want to you turn into the pod, I'll probably be doing a giveaway every time we're on here. So
well, that's cool. That's very very gracious. And so I want to run a question by you for the gamers out there that since you've been very successful this year, do you have any advice to players that maybe aren't as successful as you, and how many hours did you grind in fantasy, and any little tidbits or secrets to help them get over the hump?
Yeah, so I would just say stick to your guns. Don't let these old folks tell you what to do. Running backs suck. Don't be drafting no running backs.
All right, that's it. I'm definitely getting in the mid-stakes next year.
But yeah, and then I spent like you asked, tons of time just watching. My quote is, don't draft running backs.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew it. I was just waiting for you to say it. I was going to say it for you if you didn't.
Don't draft running backs. But yeah, tons of time. I mean, I watch football all the time. Regardless, like I'm either drafting or watching football the majority of the time. This was all I did, all off season was draft teams, whether it was underdog, whether it's Ballsville, whether it was dynasty startups, all of that. And I think it just came to fruition. This was like the first time I've actually dedicated myself to, pure fantasy football. I usually have, I just do fantasy football as, just like everybody does, you just play it to play it. But this, I actually dedicated my time to, researching to some stuff, looking at rookies, all of that. So, but yeah, just stick to your guns is, I would say, my main advice.
And look at that.
You don't want to change your quote to stick to your guns?
Nope.
And look at that beautiful trophy. Beautiful trophy.
I know.
Just so you know, all those little gold chips right there are chocolates.
Oh, I thought they were your coins from what the winnings I took from you.
Oh, shots fired. I love it.
So, well, awesome. Well, like I said, congratulations. Well deserved. Yeah, that wraps up our first annual Ballsy Awards. And congratulations again to all the winners. Thank you for all that have participated in our games. And we definitely look forward for you guys coming back next year. Please, if you guys have other people that are in other fantasy leagues, or bring them to Ballsville. Show them what we have to offer. We have a lot to offer for new players, and bring them on. Our website is updated, and it's growing. Just like our game, we got our triathlons going next year. We're going to expand our dynasty leagues. Hopefully we expand the big game. So we have a lot to offer. Also, I want to run something by real quick. Monday, we're going to come out with a playoff format for the next round, for the playoffs, like a playoff game. It's going to be more of like the triathlon. It's going to be like a pilot. So we'll probably give a little giveaway for the winner, but we're going to put something together and send it out to you guys. And that way, if it goes good this year, that's something that we'll do hardcore next year, like we're doing with the triathlon. We're going to be working on the triathlon. Once the season's over, we'll get all that out to you guys to look over. That's going to be probably our second flagship game besides the big game. We're really, really excited about that game. That game's going to just be tremendous. for our brand. Also, the podcast next week is going to move to Wednesdays, 8:30. That would be 8:30 Eastern time. And what is that, 5:30 Pacific, Sean?
Yep.
On Wednesdays, we'll go back to once a week. And then, like I said, we'll get into we'll probably start talking Dynasty. You know, right after the NFL regular season, we'll start talking Dynasty, start talking some college players. We'll get into that. But
Get
we'll be
back to
back.
some trade talks.
Yeah, we'll definitely be talking trades again, Dynasty trades. So, yeah, we still got a lot coming up. So, and like I said, please like and subscribe to the podcast. Please go to the website and check it out. We're definitely gonna get a lot bigger next year, and hopefully shift a lot of our stuff over to the website. So anyways, for my co-host Sean, for the good old boy from West Texas, Connor, I am Lutz
Player
for
of the
sale.
year.
And
Yes,
player of the year. And I am Lutz for sale. Until next week, gamers, enjoy week 18, and we'll talk to you next week.
That's a wrap.
Peace out.